Good evening, you're watching The Big Question. I'm Sanjana. India's wealthy and ambitious and now even creative and cultured are lining up for a slice of the Dubai life. All this courtesy of the UAE's 10-year golden visa, now available for roughly 23 lakh rupees. More than 1,50,000 Indians have already secured long-term residency in the Emirates, drawn by the promise of zero income tax, world-class infrastructure and instant access to global markets. But behind the glossy brochures lie hard questions. For one, is this really a golden ticket to security and growth, or just a shiny label with hidden fine print? What happens to your tax liabilities in India if you're a golden visa holder but keep your business or family here? What happens after 10 years? And for entrepreneurs, will this residence truly open doors to scaling in the Gulf or simply make you a premium consumer in someone else's economy? To discuss this and a lot more, this evening I have Paresh Karia, CEO of Acquest Advisors and a seasoned immigration advisor who helps Indian HNIs navigate global mobility. He'll break down the real costs, the eligibility maze, and what clients don't always ask. I've also got Ved Jain, managing partner at VJA Legal and former president of the ICAI, who will help us decode the tax and legal implications for Indian residents eyeing a foreign residency. And Ankit Kapoor, Chief Operating Officer at Asas Capital and a golden visa holder himself based in Dubai. He'll share whether this long-term visa has delivered real ROI for business and lifestyle, or whether it's more about branding than bottom line. So let's begin. Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to NDTV Profit and The Big Question. Who is really buying and why? Over 1,50,000 Indians have secured UAE golden visas as of mid-2025. Major demand from startup founders, consultants, doctors and high net worth professionals. Many are citing ease of travel and residency security as key drivers. Ankit, you've actually taken the plunge. What was your top motivation?
So Sanjana, thank you very much, first of all, for having me on this forum.
Thank you.
Just to give you a quick background to the audience as well, I've been in the Middle East for the last 17 years. And throughout my initial career, it was always an employment. For me, it was an organic transformation from an employee to an entrepreneur. And when I eventually took that plunge, for me, Golden Visa is one of the strengths, wherein I don't have to be very bothered about every renewals. I don't have to be bothered about a fear that tomorrow, if I do not have a job or work, I can still stay with me and my family safely.
Okay, so what's the real value of this visa day to day beyond the headlines?
So beyond the headlines, with my limited experience, I can say it gives ease for us to expand our business. It gives ease for us for a global mobilization whenever we apply for any international visas. And if you are a golden visa holder, you get preferential in extensions. For us, when we are applying for any local facilities around the government sites, it gives us a little much more initial support in terms of being a prestigious resident of the state.
Okay, Paresh also joining us. Paresh, thank you so much and welcome to NDTV Profit. Paresh, who is your typical Indian client seeking a golden visa? Are they driven by tax planning, by prestige, or then just business opportunity?
Well, there are different categories of people. You know, we have typically high net worth individuals, millionaires, having global aspirations, and they are looking at, they already have children studying abroad, or they have businesses overseas, and they are now looking at having a global footprint. And UAE makes perfect sense. You know, Dubai Golden Visa, per se, for somebody who wants to start exploring outside India, it's the easiest way to get a golden visa and the quickest way. You know, you can get a golden visa within months compared to other residency programs that we do, like the US EB5 visa or the European Golden Visa, where it takes a couple of a couple of years or even more. In case of the UAE Golden Visa, we have seen clients getting through the entire process in just a few weeks. In fact, our last case was completed in just about for 1 month. So typically, there are high net worth individuals who are looking at, you know, expanding abroad. There are people who want to enjoy luxurious lifestyle. Those who have achieved, success in India and now want to move forward and enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. They are the kind of people we are seeing. We are looking at people who are looking at tax efficiency and tax planning, where they themselves relocate outside India and take up residency in UAE. UAE and to India have a very attractive, very friendly double taxation avoidance agreements, which gives a lot of benefits to Indians, who move to UAE. So a lot of people have been exploring that, and in general, we also have people who just want to take up the UAE Golden Visa as a backup visa. They have no plans of moving out of India. They are very well settled in India, but they want to take it up as a backup so that in future, in case they decide to move, or if there is a situation like COVID or something happens and you want to move out, it's a kind of a perfect backup plan, especially for Indian HNIs.
Sure.
Because Dubai and India are very well connected. Culturally also there is a lot of similarity. There is just a short distance. You can travel to Dubai anytime in 3 hours time. There are so many flights going daily to Dubai. So it's like an extended part of India, you can say.
Okay, but what's the eligibility criteria that most people don't realize upfront?
Right. So this, nomination program, let me tell you something. The Dubai UAE Golden Visa nomination program has always been there right from the beginning. If you look at the program, when it was introduced in 2019, the nomination criteria was there. But what was happening was there was a boom in the property. Everybody was trying to sell the property and people were looking at property as investment. So that overshadowed the entire nomination category. And this nomination program was not actively being promoted. But we have been doing it for the last 2 years. We have had so many clients who have got the golden visa without investment in short period of time. So this was always there. So initially when they started, they were offering the nomination route only to certain celebrities, Shah Rukh Khan, or we talk about Rajnikant, or so many other celebrities. They all got this golden visa through nomination. And then, they started opening this slowly to young, entrepreneurs, achievers, business tycoons, and so on and so forth. And then they liberalized it further. They started giving it to normal businessmen who were meeting certain criteria. And now they have, liberalized it further by introducing this new scheme and opening it up for everybody. Well, it needs to be seen now what are the criteria under the new program. But broadly under the nomination program, you had different categories. You had, significant achievers under the cultural, arts, cultural, athletics, where noted, celebrities or sportsmen would get a nomination through the government. Then you had a category of technical category where experts, talented, skilled experts like doctors, scientists, research, people in the computer science and AI field, they could get nominated. You had a category of outstanding students where if you are studying in some top universities, either in schools in the UAE or even top universities outside UAE, you could get the nomination. If you are a social worker, if you're contributing to the society, you could get the golden visa. So there were numerous categories there, and all those categories are still there.
Okay.
But the only thing, people don't know how to apply for that. There is not much, and the information also is not very structured. What is happening now is for this particular category, the UAE government has appointed an agency and streamlined the process. For all the other categories, there is no structured process.
Right.
And very few people who are in the business know about it.
So I think there is a need to structure, but let me come to perhaps the most attractive part for which we have Ved Jain, the tax tightrope. So are you really escaping liabilities because UAE has no personal income tax, but Indian residents can still be taxed on global income? We've got recent cases of NRIs being scrutinized for residency shopping. Ved Jain, if you hold a UAE Golden Visa but continue to spend significant time in India, what exactly changes for your tax status here?
So let me just clarify you that by getting a visa or a golden visa or any other visa, your residency under the tax law don't change.
Okay.
It's a visa is only a permission to enter into that country and then to how long you can stay in that country. That's the only visa required, which is permission which is given. And let me just clarify the two issues which are on your table. What was the golden visa being given earlier, and now what is the new scheme which is in this scheme, and what is the purpose and objective coming out of it? See, earlier was a golden visa where the UAE was asking for an investment of roughly 4.6 crore as you put on the screen, because they were looking to that people who want to invest, this is good money which is coming to the country, and that's why they were giving golden visa. And I hope you are aware that USA also does allow EB5 visa, which is granted on $800,000 of investment in particular category of investment, we call ETA, or 1.5 millions, 1.05 millions in other category investment. Then you can also get a green card in US also for that purpose. This, by and large, many countries follow this practice of attracting investment in their country. But this scheme which has come yesterday and which has been announced, and it says that just putting 100,000 dirham, that is 23.3 lakh rupees, you can get a golden visa. Idea is to not to get direct investment, but to get a hold of the HNI, high net worth individual, and that's why they say it is not just by putting an application, paying the money, you will get a visa. It will be by nomination. So what they expect is that they want to familiarize those people, HNI, to their UAE. They believe that once you have paid this money and you have a golden visa, you will be frequently visiting UAE. You may think of investing there. You may think of doing some business. You may support their culture, their science, research, etc. And obviously, over a period, without insisting in the beginning making investment, you may get yourself attracted to make an investment. So idea of golden visa is nothing to do with taxation. Idea is to attract good high net worth individual from India to visit more and more to UAE and to live in UAE. And then, of course, depending upon your desire and your future behavior and your state, your status under the tax law may change. The law, India, UAE have a treaty, tax treaty. In case you live in UAE for 183 days or more, then you can become a resident of UAE. Then your income in India will be taxed only the Indian income, not the global income. But if you have a golden visa and you are staying in India for 182 days or more, irrespective of the fact that you have a golden visa, you will be liable to pay tax on your global income, including the income which accrues or arises to you in UAE. So visa has nothing to do with the taxation aspect. Visa is only a permission to stay in that country, to enter into that country and to stay in that country. The tax laws have a different structure. Depending upon your number of days, the stay you have been there, the citizenship of which country you have, on that basis the tax liability arises.
Okay, excellent. I think that you clarified it really, really beautifully. Visa does not equal any the taxation. The taxation stays the same. The visa is literally a permission to enter the country, and it is more to do with residency, but your tax liabilities stay the same. Okay, thanks so much for clarifying that. But I'm going to talk business leverage now, whether it is just a promise or a pipe dream. The Dubai Economic Department has promoted the golden visa in the past as a platform to attract FDI and new companies. But there are licensing requirements and costs that actually are taken to run a business locally. Paresh, for entrepreneurs, is this visa enough to do business in the UAE, or do you still need separate trade licenses and corporate setups? What does that look like?
Right. So in order to do business in UAE, you will need to have a license. You need to set up a company. So when you are setting up a company, there are various cost elements involved. There is a setup cost of the company. There is a license cost depending upon what kind of business you want to set up. You can get multiple licenses. So initially, you can get a few licenses in the initial cost. And for every additional kind of business you want, you need a license. You have to pay additional costs for that. And then if you need visas for yourself or for your employees, there is a visa cost involved. Now, what happens is if you get a golden visa and if you want to set up a company, all the other costs will remain the same. But that visa cost for yourself will not be involved because you already have a visa. So that's the only benefit, of golden visa if you're setting up a business. From a cost perspective, that is the only small element of your visa cost will not be involved. Rest of the cost, rest of the process of setting up the company, getting the licenses, etc., getting visas for your employees, etc., will remain the same.
So Ankit, as an operator, in Dubai. Have you seen real commercial benefits, or would you say it's more about lifestyle?
I would say it's more about ease and lifestyle. I would say it's more about subconsciously in your subconscious mind a comfort that anytime and every time you can travel and stay outside and come back. There's no restrictions of 6 months or so, which used to be earlier. And as my fellow colleagues on the forum mentioned, Mr. Ved, that earlier it used to be a little skeptical about you can do business and you are being stringent about the taxation. Now, with this clarity, it's becoming more acceptable by the outer world as well. That it's more about your ease. It's more about your comfort. Earlier, if you do not have a golden visa and your kids are beyond 18, they have to maintain their own visa if you're an employee. But with golden visa, I can sponsor my children even after they are 18. So these all comfort gives me much more leverage to stay in this part of the world. As an expatriate, what I want is the connectivity to my country. I'm a patriotic. I want to visit my country maybe 10 times a year. I do not want to be always restricted at whether my visa is expiring or whether my visa will be renewed or not. This gives me that comfort. And as rightly among our friends, we say Dubai is becoming the best city in India today. And that's purely because they have like 100 flights per day with multiple locations. So I don't have to think twice whether when I want to go back home with my family, meet my parents. So it's lifestyle and it's comfort and ease of staying. That's how I would like to conclude.
I really like that. Dubai is becoming the best city in India today. I want to talk duration, renewals, and fine print. The visa is valid for 10 years, renewable indefinitely if criteria is met. There are minimum income and investment requirements that must be maintained. Ved Jain, what happens if you fail to maintain the required financial thresholds over time?
See, firstly, let me clarify this visa is by nomination. So many applications will be invited and you have to put in your details, which will be evaluated upon your network, maybe your past history, your social media, and what have been your background and how you can contribute to the economy or other aspects of the UAE. And then if this visa is for 10 years, if you are not able to meet the criteria at the time of renewal, obviously the visa will expire as it expires for other countries. If I take a visa of UK for 1 year or 2 years, the same thing happens if 2-year visa is expired. So I'm supposed to leave the country before the visa expires. And in case I want to come back, I have to obtain again a visa. I may just add on that US does give a visa of 10 years in the beginning itself. But then there is a condition, you can't stay in US for more than 6 months continuously, but you can visit US at a number of times within 10 years. Similarly, UK also has a scheme today also. When we apply for visa for UK, you can have a multiple entry visa for 10 years. There's a fees which they charge for 10 years. But then the condition is again that your stay continuously for a one period cannot be there. But this golden visa of UAE probably does not have the condition that you can't stay in UAE for more than 6 months. So you can continue to stay as long as you want at multiple entry, but time period is 10 years. And then when at the time of renewal, they will reevaluate your credentials and your network, your contribution, what you have been doing in the last 10 years. Obviously, if you fulfill the criteria, it will get renewed. If you don't fulfill the criteria, it will not be renewed and you will have to come back.
So would you say that there is a risk of sudden cancellation, or how secure is the status?
I don't think that there can be a risk of cancellation unless you do something which is unlawful or which is not a condition precedent while granting visa. I believe when any visa is granted, there are certain conditions, do and don'ts. Normally, that what you want to do. So obviously, you will not indulge in any political activity. You will not do anything contrary to the interests of that country. So something happened that, of course, then there can be a problem. And then there is some cases going on somewhere here or there. On that basis, there can be some challenge. But otherwise, I don't see any challenge once you get a golden visa that getting cancelled in between all that part.
Okay, then coming to my next question to Paresh, then what is, would you say, is the single biggest misconception India has about, or Indians have about the golden visa? And I'd love Ankit to also jump in on that question. But first, Paresh, I'll come to you for that.
Yeah, I think the biggest single misconception that Indians had about this visa was that you need to invest in property only. They were not aware that there were other alternative routes available and which have always been there earlier. But now, with this subcategory being introduced, focusing specifically for Indians, this awareness is created and people will start exploring this route as well. Right. There is one more thing I would like to add, just to add to what Mr. Jain said earlier, that if we are talking about renewal, see, renewal becomes very important in the context of UAE, because when we talk about other countries like USA, UK, etc., there after permanent residency, if you stay in that country for 5 years or 6 years, you become eligible to receive citizenship. And once you get a citizenship, there is no need for you to stay in that country. You get a lifetime right in that particular country. However, in case of UAE, you will not be getting the citizenship. You will always be on a golden visa status. So after 10 years, if you want to continue staying in the UAE, you have to make sure that you meet the criteria so that your visa is renewed.
Okay. Thanks so much for clarifying that. Ankit, I'd like to pose the same question to you. What's the single biggest misconception Indians or even your friends or people that you interact with have about the golden visa?
Okay, it's not going to work in my favor though, but I still say it. So the only one misconception I would say, which Indians and my fellow friends thinks, that golden visa is only and only for ultra high net worth individuals, which is not true. I can talk about myself. I am not one of those loaded guys, but I still managed to get the golden visas. And as Paresh mentioned very clearly, there are multiple criterias. The only way is to reach out, search, and speak to the right people. There are crooks on street everywhere. You need to be aware about your connections. You need to be aware where you are approaching and whom you are talking to. There has to be legit people, and you can get your way out with the right and the economical ways as well. So that's the only thing. Initially, it did came up that it's only for the rich, it's only for the ultra premium people, but that's not true. I can give a live example, which is myself.
Scratch the surface a little bit more on that. What is the realistic timeline then from application to approval? Is it truly fast track as it's being advertised?
Yeah. So if you're asking me,
yeah.
Ankit, go ahead.
Ankit, go ahead.
No, sorry, because I'm a role right now, so I can say that yes, it is fast track. It is something which definitely outshines, and we all, the people who are resident of Dubai, and I can vouch about myself staying here for more than 17 years. Dubai is a place of execution. Dubai is a place of commitment. I mean, if you mention that this is a timeline, things happen in that timeline. If you have to extremely go wrong on some parts. Otherwise, it's fast track. I mean, compared to even to a Schengen visa for 6 months, it takes a couple of weeks, sometimes months to even get an appointment. But for a golden visa, if you tick all the boxes, I think it's one of the fastest things globally I can vouch for achieving a residency visa.
Okay, very positive sentiment all around. But Ved Jain, if someone was watching right now and is extremely tempted, and I'm sure that's most of our audience this evening, especially when they heard about it, what's the one question they should ask themselves before writing the check?
I will say that what they should think about is there is no benefit in taxation. Only thing is they want to enjoy and they want to see what the UAE is. And in case it happens to be a good city, as Paresh has said and Ankit has said that yes, it is an Indian city, the best Indian city. Obviously, then one should write the check and get a golden visa, because you are going to get a 10-year pass to as and when you want to enter UAE, you can enter UAE, you can do business, you can do any cultural relationship, whatever it is, you can travel and visit there. And I believe, you see, similar position is available for other countries also. But UAE, as I say, is very well connected with India, very close to India. You have a good relationship. And now India has signed comprehensive economic development agreement with the UAE. So we can do a lot of business opportunity. And I believe those who are looking for, I think, some opportunity in business is a very, very good move on the part of UAE, because this is the first Indian country. This is the first time they have opened for India only. And that's a good opportunity for Indian people, particularly high net worth individual, if they are looking for any business opportunity, looking for economic cooperation agreement. This can open a floodgate for business development.
Okay, final thoughts. I'm going to bring in Paresh. Paresh, what profile of Indians should not consider the UAE Golden Visa?
Well, I would say that people who are, at the low end jobs, who don't meet those financial criteria, typically, the financial criteria they will look at is that you need to have a monthly income of at least 10 lakhs INR coming into your account. That is a bare minimum they will look at when it comes to the nomination category. So anybody below that criteria should not be looking at it. And I would also like to answer on the timeline. You asked a question. We have seen typically the entire process getting completed. Nomination takes about 3 to 4 weeks. And within 1 week, you get your golden visa as well as the Emirates card. We have seen clients starting the process and leaving UAE with the Emirates ID within 1 month.
Okay, fantastic. And thank you so much to all of my panelists this evening for really clarifying this entire process and, of course, making it quite enticing and exciting for most of our viewers. But you heard the experts here. Visa does not imply that you're going to be free from any kind of taxation back home. And 10 lakhs as monthly income is also something that you need to consider. It's not just the final 23 lakhs and then you're done. So in a world where mobility is currency and residency is for sale, the UAE's golden visa promises a decade of stability and advantage. But behind the sparkle, it demands careful due diligence, very clear tax planning, and a sober look at whether it's a true investment or simply a lifestyle expense with a golden label. Thank you to our panel for cutting through the noise, and thank you to you viewers for once again tuning into The Big Question.